Good morning, Power Tribe. How are you doing today? Again, I'm back with another video on Mental Health Awareness Month. And there's a lot of information for you. I am looking down because I have all this information that I want to make sure that I share. I hope that you guys have given some thought around some of the videos that I shared prior around recognizing some of the signs. Today we are going to go into some of the signs too, but today's topic is mostly around the resources that is out there for you. So it is very important now that mental health awareness conversations are being a little bit more talked about, that we have the knowledge that we need to recognize those signs, as well as having those resources of help to know where to get the help that we need. So from my own personal experience, I personally didn't recognize mental health issues within myself because, like I said in the previous video, that it is a very insidious way that it kind of sneak into your life, especially if you are a working professional or just you are in a career that is very stressful. You are very used to that heightened sense of stress that you feel, and it's normal because every day is stress, and every day can be different, obviously, with different situations, but you are more able to handle stress because you are working in a highly stressed environment. So same thing for me. I was in a very highly stressed environment every single day, and so I don't recognize, with a higher tolerance for stress, what those mental health, effects are on me. So what happened is gradually, as I am feeling more and more not myself. That's the word that I can say. It's like I don't feel like myself because before, let's call it a high functioning stress taker, but and I'm always able to put on a mask, go to work, and do my thing. But over time, I find that it's really hard to put on that mask anymore. I feel like I am breaking down inside, and that's the only way I can describe it. It's like I feel like I'm very broken down, and I feel less of myself. That's what I would say. And when I approach for resources to get help was when I am already in episodes of mental health breakdown, where I have uncontrollable tears. I'm always sad, but like I can't stop crying. Like my body just does its own thing because I'm not in control of it anymore, because now my emotions has taken charge of my body, and my body needs some sort of release. And the release was just crying nonstop. And I would just be really sad, and little things trigger my emotional episodes, I would say that. So, but it was really hard, which is why I want to talk about the mental health resource, is when you are in an episode, it is very hard to get help, because with my own personal experience, I remember calling my healthcare provider to say, this is what I'm experiencing. And obviously to see a therapist, a mental health professional, it is like pulling teeth. When I called the first time, I remember the appointment that was set was like 3 or 4 weeks out. And it's very hard to get myself in. And I was very lucky to have a friend whose mother-in-law was a therapist, and he was able to get me with her to get quickly in the same day. But that was because I had the relationship with my friend. So I just want to make sure that you are aware that this resources might take time to get to you, because you don't get one, you might not get help like the same day. Like if you are sick, you might be able to get to see a doctor the same day, but it's not the same for therapists. And with a lot of mental health issues on the rise, I'm very sure that it is going to take longer time for you to get into, to see somebody to get help. Because even with my son, when he has ADHD symptoms coming up, and I was trying to get him help, it was very frustrating to find the right doctor for one, the right therapist for one, and to even get him in to be seen. So the other thing to consider is because you are, going through this mental health stress, obviously there's a lot of junk that's happening inside of you with maybe situations, sensitive things that had happened to you, trauma that had happened to you, that you want to be comfortable to be able to talk about those things with someone that you trust, right? But trust doesn't come in one day. You do need to build the trust. And for me, what I found out when I got diagnosed with PTSD is that I'm huge on trust. And so I am not very open with my struggles when I feel that people don't care, or my perception is people don't care. And so I remember before that, I went to see a therapist once, and I didn't go back again because I felt like I was just a number. I didn't feel like, she truly was invested in my emotional well-being, even though she might be, but I didn't sense that trust that I can really pour to her. Because in order for you to get true help, you need to be able to be transparent, and you need to be able to really pour all the junk out of you to the therapist, and you need to be comfortable. Because I would say, in order for the therapy to be effective, you have to be open and honest about your struggles. And it is not easy to be open and honest with your struggle if the therapist you are not comfortable with talking to. So that's the other thing. So some people go from therapist to therapist to find one that they are very comfortable with. So think about it. You have that wait time of getting in to see somebody. And then on top of that, you want to get in to see somebody that you actually trust and can feel that you can be completely transparent with. That time frame and that amount of time that it takes to see somebody could be months before you are actually then diving into helping yourself get through it, if that makes any sense. And I was very lucky again. I think that this is all the universe, conspiring to help me. That's what I would say. It's because my friend's mother-in-law was very invested. Well, the fact that she was able to bring me in the first day, she took more time with me. She actually took, I think, 2 or 3 hours with me because I was at such a bad emotional state at that point, that she actually took her time to listen to me and let me cry my eyes out and listened and empathized. And I think at that moment when I was in that space, I felt like I needed someone to agree with me. Right? And I felt like she understood what I was talking about. She understood where I was coming from, and she empathized and she acknowledged. I think that's the word. I really needed someone to acknowledge my feelings, because I was so gaslighted that I felt like my whole world was so it's not real, right? So I need someone to tell me, like, whatever I'm experiencing, it's not that I'm crazy, but that I am really experiencing it. And she made me feel that way. She made me feel like, you're not crazy. This is normal. You should be feeling this way. And that's what I needed to hear. Because, I know that my husband told me that, but it's my husband, right? I need a professional. I personally needed a professional to tell me that I am not going crazy, and that however I'm feeling is it's true, and it's real, and it's painful, and that I will get past it and I will get through it. Because when you're in it, you feel like you're so stuck. And I've been stuck in that state for, like I said, insidiously, 3 months, 6 months. It's been like over 6 months, almost a year, where I'm feeling just worse and worse. And I just like, when am I going to get out of this like emotional state where I'm in control? Because I feel like I don't know who this person is, because Helena is always strong, decisive, able to put herself together. But this person that I became because of my mental health issues was someone that even myself, I couldn't recognize her. Like, I felt like I was weak. I felt like, why are you this way? You are never this way. And it's really hard to be able to pull myself out of it. And I felt like I couldn't pull myself out of it because I have no more emotional strength within myself to pull myself out of it. So to give you the background, and just so you know what the process is to get yourself treated, to get yourself seen. But those are going to take time. But what I'm going to share with you in terms of the resources is to be able to help you recognize, because like I said, when I was in it, I didn't recognize it until it got really bad. So it is very important for you to, if you are in doubt, to really look at these resources that I'm about to share, to use it as a guideline of what your next steps could be or should be. So first thing first is go with your gut feeling. If you feel like something isn't quite right? Like, you know yourself. You know that if you are usually very social, you're usually very friendly, very happy, very outgoing, and you find yourself isolating yourself, being quiet, not wanting to share, not having that emotional capacity to give to others, not feeling like yourself, maybe you're tired all the time, or maybe you're very short-tempered with others, or you have outbursts of anger and you don't know where it comes from. Those are things that you recognize within yourself that is not normal, because you're like, I'm normally very happy, I'm normally don't let things get to me, but something is getting to me and I don't understand why. Or you usually could put on that mask and or you say like buck up and get back on it again, but you find yourself not being able to more and more. Those are maybe some internal signals within yourself, and usually your gut would tell you that. So I knew that something was off, but I wasn't sure what it was. Was it because I was, and I shared in my previous video that I was having pelvic pain, and I was like, is it my pain that's making me tired and sad and all that stuff, or what was going on? So there is this resource. It is called mhascreening.org. It is a free screening. It is important for you to be able to catch those mental health signs earlier. Like I said before, that when you are deep into it, it is very hard for you to pull yourself out of it because you do not have the mental, emotional capacity to do that. You need a lot of strength to do that. And when you are already completely depleted, it is going to be very difficult for you to work to get yourself out of there. So the sooner you can get help, the sooner you recognize those signs, you are able to then get into gear and do the things that is needed to help yourself get better. So I will share all these resources in my link below, in the description below. This is a screening website. In a few minutes, it will ask you some questions, some questionnaires, probably about how you're feeling, how often are you feeling it, how intense you're feeling it, how long you've been feeling it. Those are probably some of the questions that will show up in that screen. And the screen will then, kind of have a result for you to tell you maybe you need to see somebody, what your next step should be. So this is free, completely free. It's mhascreening.org, and its purpose is to help you evaluate if, however you're feeling is normal, or it is time for you to go get help, to, start looking for somebody, and what your next step should be. Because I think, first of all, is we don't recognize it. Second of all is, okay, now I know, so what do I do, right? So I think this website is going to help you to not only be able to screen to see if you are needing of help, but also to help you, help tell you what your next step should be. And then, like I said, again, screening is going to be very important. Your gut. Go with your gut. If something is telling you it's not right, please go seek help right away. Go to this website. Nobody would know. It's anonymous. Nobody would know that you are having this issue. It is just between you and the website. And I think that it can be a little bit shaming at first, because I felt like, you know, I'm always so strong and I'm so self-sufficient. Why do I need help now? It was very hard for me to ask for help because I didn't see myself as somebody that needed help. But at that point, I really, truly need it. So one of a few crisis resources that I have for you is a crisis text line. And the website is crisistextline.org. And what you can do is text MHA to 741-741. And there is a professional crisis counselor that can help you, because when you are in a dark place, you aren't able to think straight. You are so emotionally overwhelmed that your mind is not where it should be or functioning how it should be. And so everything is thrown out of proportion and everything is end of the world. And you're not being dramatic, because you are so emotionally depleted that every little thing that you need to do takes so much more out of you. So this crisis text helpline really help you get that immediate counseling that you need via text, and that is actually very, very helpful, especially when you cannot see a therapist, you know, right away, or you need to wait 3 weeks or a month before you see somebody, or maybe the person that you're currently seeing is you're not comfortable with, you're new with. And so this is going to be anonymous and it is confidential, and the best part is there's nobody sitting in front of you, so you might be more comfortable sharing and being more vulnerable and being more open and transparent about your struggles. The other resource that I'm going to share is the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It is confidential, and this is professionals that will provide you with support when you are going through a suicidal or emotional crisis. I'm going to share with you, and if you have gone through this before, you would know, you do get into a very dark place where the emotional pain is so bad that, and I think what's worse for me, and I can speak for myself because I'm not anybody else, I think the worst of it was I can see that my family was very worried about me, my kids were worried about me, but I can see that they're struggling too. And I feel I'm a very responsible person, and I feel like I am burdening them with how I'm feeling. And the worst part is I cannot fix it. I cannot fix myself to feel better. And so because I want to take away their pain, right? Because they are feeling so much for me and they want me to get better, and I can't get better. I don't know how to get better at that time. And it feels terrible. And so I wanted to end this for everybody. I don't have pain anymore. And they don't have to go through this with me anymore. And so, you know, you get to a very dark place where you really do want to end your life. And I was there. And there was one day that it was so bad that I took some pills. Wasn't enough to kill me, but obviously I wasn't in the right frame of mind, and I wish I knew about this resource. So do not let it get that bad before you ask for help, because when you are in a very deep, deep, dark place, you might not even have the energy to ask for help. So I really encourage you to please, before you get there, go with your gut feeling, get screened, know your resources. The best is talk to somebody and let them know how you feel, because I think that they are able to keep an eye on you. And it's good to kind of be proactive about that if you know that you are already struggling, to have, you know, your accountability partner to make sure that you are in the right frame of mind, to keep you safe, to encourage you, to be there for you, to pick up the phone when you need to talk to somebody, and to help you get the help that you need. The other website resource that I want to share is called OneLine.org. So these are trained peers, so people like me who have been through, you know, depression, mental health crisis before. And I know some people who are more skeptical around, like, you know, therapist or whatever, and they might feel like, you know, you're talking to me like you're a professional. Like, I don't feel very like you relate to me because you've never been through that before. But most of the people who are therapists have been through that themselves. And if you feel like you prefer to talk to somebody like yourself who have been through something like this before, maybe you feel more comfortable, maybe you feel like you can relate to them better, maybe you feel like they can understand you better because they have been down that road, like myself, this is the website for you. They are able to help you through it, talk to you through it, share their own struggles. And I find that when some people share with you their struggles, and you feel like you are more seen, right? Because they've been down that road. They've struggled through the same thing, and they can assure you that this is just a short moment in time. You know, if you get the help that you need, you'll be able to get through it. And sometimes you just need someone that have been through that and experienced that to tell you, so that it speaks to you more. So that's the other thing. Another resource that I can think of is joining a group. You know, there's a lot of support group out there for people who are feeling depressed or different type of mental health, you know, that you can relate to. Like for me, I have PTSD, so maybe there's a PTSD support group out there that I can actually go join, and people who share the similar symptoms, people who, you know, can kind of encourage me because I know that they have the same diagnosis, and then they are able to, you know, give me some tips and tricks of how they handle it. And sometimes you'll be able to pick up some good stuff from there. So there are a lot of support group out there. There is group therapy, there is inpatient call. So my depression was really bad, and there is actually a group home where you can actually go there for a span of a few months to kind of help you understand why you're going through that. It is it's much more intensive. You don't live there, but that particular in-home therapy is more like you kind of go there like you go to school or you go to work every day, but instead of going to work or going to school, you're going to in-house therapy. And it is a more I want to say intensive because of whatever, you know, situation that you're going through. I unfortunately at that point I couldn't afford it because of work. I have only limited time, and it is covered by insurance, I believe, and you should be able to go ahead and go on a leave of absence if you need to get those resources. I unfortunately was already in the middle of my leave of absence, and I was, you know, about to go back to work, and I just felt like I couldn't invest that time. But those resources are definitely available to you if you feel like you need more help, more intensive help. Those are resources that are available to you. So those are a few things that I want you to know. This is the statistics that I want to share with you. So prevalence of mental health condition is highest among adults reporting 2 or more races. So it's 35.8%. So obviously, I'm someone with ethnicity. I do have 2 or more race. I struggle with that, especially now with a lot of racial issues that is happening around us. And it can affect how I feel on top of how I'm already feeling. So know that, you know, you are probably needing more help because of that additional factor that I just shared. And then 46% of Americans will meet the criteria for a diagnosable mental health condition at some time in their life. So that's almost 50%. And not everyone goes diagnosed. So it's good for you to know and get diagnosed, because different diagnoses give you help you understand the symptoms that comes with it. That was what was helping me. My PTSD, how something's trigger, why do I react certain way? I'm able to relate to that diagnosis and the symptoms that come with it, if that makes any sense. So if you say you have anxiety, and for me, I have anxiety and PTSD and depression. So it looks very similar, but they are all different, and sometimes they can be interlinked and interconnected. And so that's why I have anxiety, depression, and PTSD, because my PTSD triggers my anxiety and then it makes me more depressed. So it can be a little bit more complicating, but the more accurate diagnosis you get, the more accurate help you can give to yourself. My advice to you guys, it's been 25 minutes and I don't want to take on any more time, is do not wait. Find a provider now. Even if you do not need it right now, it's good to find somebody that you're comfortable with, so that when you need it, you have someone to go to and have those resources ready, because you might not be able to see that person immediately, but you are able to, you know, use those resources that's out there that's immediate. Because when you are in a mental health crisis, it's sometimes you just need it today. You need it right now. You need it right this moment. You cannot wait 2 weeks. You cannot wait 3 weeks. And I can say, like, I can see why there is so many suicides that's happening, because when they're in that deep, dark place, they can't dig themselves out of there. And to see a mental health provider, it takes such a long time that they don't see an end to their emotional pain. And so they decide to, you know, take that way out, which I do not want any of you to have to go through that. So please, 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 get your resources ready on hand. Find a mental health provider when you are in the right frame of mind, so that when you have it, when you need it, you have it. I hope my story and my resources is helping you. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop down your comment. Please like, please subscribe. I really care for all of you, which is why I take the time to go share this with you. I've been down that road myself. I do not want anybody to have to go through that. So I really, really, really want you to get the help that you need, even if you don't need it. It's better to be safe than to be sorry. And I'm so glad that I did what I did. And so I'm here today. And so I want you guys to take the help, reach out, get whatever help you need to make yourself feel better. This is not forever, and everybody go through this at some point in their life. And just so you know that you're not alone, and we are here to help and support you. If you need any coaching, any support, please feel free to check out my website, www.herempoweredlife.com, and have a session with me. I would love to help. I've been down that road, and I can definitely help you get through it. Well, Her Empowered ladies, please seek help. Do not be ashamed. You're not alone, and I'm here for you. All right? Well, you have a good day now, and I'll talk to you again. Bye, guys.